Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from. Again, welcome to a brand new season of the Hard Zone. On the Hard Zone, we try to keep our conversation free from any bias, and just by way of disclaimer, all of the opinions and positions that will be offered on this network and this podcast and that is not the official position of the network, but that of the individual panelists that will be offering them.
Having 4 people on the back of a taxi driver, you want to compare it with 6 people on the back of a motorcycle? Come on, bro, Sharif.
Donald Trump was a former president. His words are very powerful. You can't just accuse an entire community like that. It's wrong.
Listen, Walker, I was one of those people that he actually told me face to face in his home that I would declare my asset. I would make sure my officials declare their asset. And to this date, something as simple as that has not been done.
We are working. We are not going to allow this structure to have the opportunity for 6 years. And they never did anything besides stealing the Liberian people money.
We got to be honest here. This old man is one of the incompetent old men that I have ever seen.
We need to have someone who has the educational background as well as the field experience to be able to provide oversight.
All of what Kamala is promising now, the last 4 years, why haven't they done anything? She and Joe Biden.
Look, church leaders, if Liberia will be better, you must play your role.
It is too early to criticize Walker because it is the formation stage.
Again, I'm your host. My name is Derek Yale, and let's get started. Happy holiday, and hope that you celebrated this holiday season with your friends and family in the best way possible. If this is your first time being here, the Liberia Radio and Television Network, or LRTN for short, is a local media institution right here in Northeast Philadelphia. And we also have our office open in Liberia for business as well. You can find us on Facebook at LRTN Live, and on YouTube at the Liberia Radio and Television Network. We also run our page on Instagram, LRTN .231. Hopefully I'm getting the name right. And also we have our website where we feature resources from other media institutions on development in Liberia and the diaspora. So you can check us out on that on that webpage at lrtn.net, where you can get development from Liberia and the diaspora. Tonight, LRTN is proud to present another episode of The Hard Zone. That is episode 5 of season 7. And just by way of introduction, The Hard Zone is an opinion-based talk show where we feature a team of panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasion. And here on The Hard Zone, there's no gimmick, no fluff, just real talk. And again, just by way of disclaimer, all of the positions and opinion that will be offered on this podcast and this network tonight is not the official position of the network, but that of the individual panelists that will be offering them. Before I give you a heads up on what to expect on the Hard Zone, let me again encourage all of you watching us to please make sure you're following this network. And also we ask that you please share this podcast on your individual social media pages. Usually we will bring you our current event, but because we have some difficulty coming on and we came on a little late, so we will skip over that segment of the show. And we will bring on our panelists very soon, and then we'll introduce our topic for tonight, and then we will go around and giving each panelist the opportunity to give you their position on that. We'll take several breaks. After that, we will take the final closing remark from our panelists, and then we will draw the curtain today's episode. With that being said, let me now bring our panelists on for this episode. Bishop Hagar, Mr. Sandy, and Mr. Prince Sharif. I'd like to start with you, Bishop Hagar. Happy New Year and welcome to another episode.
Thank you so much, Mr. Host Derek Yele. We thank God for you. We want to say Happy New Year to all of my great Liberian people. I want to particularly greet my young brother there, Prince Sharif. Happy New Year. I hope this year God will inspire with wisdom and understanding as we talk about Liberia. And to every Liberian listen to me, those who don't like my view, those who like my view, I love you all with the love of God. Liberia is our country, our common patrimony. We want to do everything to make Liberia better. I may have different opinion, and that is okay. It's important that we all have different opinion, but at the end, we all want to remain patriotic. We want the betterment for our country, because no one Liberian is better than the other. You may have your political liking. You think that this person is better, but we all belong to Liberia. We must support Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bishop Hagar. We always appreciate your contribution here. And on behalf of myself and the network, I'll say Happy New Year to you too as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Sharif, Happy New Year and welcome to another episode.
Yeah. Thank you so very kindly, and let me say Happy New Year to all our panelists and also to the audience that are watching us from around the globe. I want to say Happy New Year to all. It's a privilege for us to be here again, and we believe that as we have entered the year 2025, it's going to be a different year, and we're going to do what we usually do in order to make sure that Liberia is a better place. So again, I want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sharif. And again, on behalf of the network and myself, we say happy holiday and happy new year. Mr. Moses D. Sandy, welcome to the show and happy new year.
Thank you, Derek. Hi, Reverend Hagar. Hi, Mr. Sharif. It's indeed a pleasure to be here with you guys this evening. Quickly, let me make this known because the promo out there says the panelists come from different political perspectives and political groups. I just want to clearly state that I belong to no political party. I come as a professional student of communication, a journalist, and now a retired broadcast journalist. So I cannot representing the view of any political party, but to just speak as a professional. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sandy, for that clarification. And guys, to all of you watching us, welcome again to a brand new episode. And as you know, you already know what the house is about if you've been with us for previous seasons. And I'd like to keep an open part of discussion, but I'll just highlight some of the major development coming out of Liberia. Looking in the executive branch, we know President Bouaka just, according to the executive mansion page, Facebook page, President Bouaka just concluded a month-long diaspora celebration of nationalism, unity, and progress. But what most people have been talking about is his trip to Ghana, where some say he went there to, according to the executive mansion page, he went there to honor the invitation to a wedding of a long-time friend. And he also is reported that he met with the president of Ghana. So I will bring that to the panel to discuss that. But I also like for us to draw attention to the continuing leadership crisis at the legislature. We saw a development where the speaker of the House, Honorable Fonante Kofa, has been asked to turn over to the office of the speaker to Representative the new speaker from the majority black. And we also I would like to draw your attention to the 2024 investment climate statement. So that's the three major developments I would like to focus on today. But again, in my effort to have an open panel discussion, I always like to ask you guys what's on your mind, what development that you would like to firstly respond to before we get into these issues. Before I come to my first panelist, again, let me say to all of you watching us, please, please, please make sure you're sharing this program on your individual social media pages so that your friends and family may be able to benefit from the discussions or contribute to the discussions we will be having here tonight. We always try to put up your comments and so that panelists can respond to some of them. But with that being said, Mr. Seni, I would like to start with you. You heard the 3 issues that I listed. But whatever it is that's pressing for you, I will be open to hear that.
The topic of issues spoken about are very critical. But there's something that really continues to bother me, and I think is of importance not only to me but to all Liberians. It has to do with there's a scholarship scheme organized by this group called Necotech or whatever. This Ghanaian scholarship, a scholarship scheme, which promised to provide, 250 scholarships, valued at $25 million. This program or the scheme was launched on November the 7th by President Joseph Yuma Boakai. The Minister of Foreign Affairs played a critical role in negotiating this. The brains behind this scholarship scheme are predominantly Ghanaians. The head of the group is a religious person. So the Minister of Education is reported also participated in this. These people promised to give Liberians 250 scholarships. Liberians celebrated. And the purpose of this scholarship is to help Liberians seeking help to study in technology, AI, artificial intelligence, mathematics, engineering. And then at the launch of the scholarship, it was reported that people would travel to the United States and Canada. So this program was launched. Liberians jubilated. Even I was sitting here. I thought it was good for the country. But as time unfolded, we realized something funny about it. And this is a couple of things that really stood out. First, the government said there was a scholarship program that did not require any collateral, meaning that you don't have to bring property, you didn't have to bring anyone to say, well, I guarantee that this person will come back or the person will not come back. Then the individuals behind the scholarship, when they realized that people started applying in the numbers, they introduced a couple of things. First, they asked the people to pay $236 for what they call readiness fee. I don't know how you explain that. And then they asked, and other you guys can agree, in Liberia, English is our official language. But our applicants were told that they needed to pay $400 for what they call an English test. I mean, you're recruiting people from Liberia to come to the United States for school, to go to Canada, and you're telling these people to say the English test. So those applicants were made to pay that. And they were also told that here they needed to produce a bank statement that shows a balance of $40,000. And each of those bank statements should be in their names. Okay, so if somebody in Lofa, in Grand Gila, the person mom is a marketer, where is this person going to get this money from? But Liberia being what it is, 22 Liberians were able to go through the vetting process. And they pay all these fees, they provided the bank statement. The people went to the U.S. Embassy. 20 of the 22 individuals were denied visas because the embassy was able to determine that hey, the process was fraudulent. So those people were denied visas, and two other persons, the applications are still being processed, what the U.S. Embassy referred to as administrative processing. So two applicants, the applications are being held for what the U.S. Embassy referred to as administrative process. To hasten, what I'm talking about, guys, is that what really stood out to me, when the president of a nation speaks, it means a lot. It means a lot. It carries significant weight. So to see people being deceived in a scholarship that our president, Joseph Yuma Boakai, the man who sold himself to Liberians, are having over 40 years leadership experience. This man came and made a huge pronouncement to Liberians. It turned out to be a fiasco. It means the foreign ministry, the office of the president, the Ministry of Education, all these institutions of government did not exercise due diligence. Our poor people were deceived. Thousands of dollars taken away from them. These people are in Ghana. Who is going to refund this money? So my appeal is that President Boakai should tell his foreign minister and all the other individuals involved that they have to be held accountable. I'm not sure, maybe that may be a little bit, sympathetic with the president. I would say maybe he was deceived because they fed him information that turned out to be untrue. And this is not the kind of leadership that we want in Liberia.
Thank you, Mr. Sandy. I will come back to you on that.
Yeah, sure.
Answer some of the question I have, but when it comes to the sympathetic angle on the president, I will come back to you and other questions on that. But let's hear from Bishop Hager. You heard the trending issues we've had, including what Mr. Sandy just brought up, that Nicotech scholarship. Talk to us, Bishop Hager.
Well, thank you very much. For me, I want to take this time on behalf of myself, the Liberian people, to extend a word of condolence to the family of the former president of the United States, Jimmy Carter. And really, I wrote a tribute that is published in the newspaper in Liberia on my Facebook page, because I remember in 1978, I was at demonstration school, and one of those that was around 10 years old was selected to wait and receive President Jimmy Carter. The atmosphere was very palatable. I mean, Liberia was locked down. When Jimmy Carter visited us, the plane landed in the motorcade. We were allowed to give the eye salute. I still remember the privilege. I don't know whether those days there was, to get the pictures, but we had the privilege to shake President Jimmy Carter's hand. And I mean, very young at that time in 1978, when he spoke, calling upon Liberians to be more patriotic, to love the country, because there was a beacon of hope. And now I'm in my, just imagine, 1978, I was 10 years old, so you can just do your math to know where I am right now. When I just reminiscent on that event, that era, if Liberians have listened to President Jimmy Carter on that day and say, listen, let's come together, let's build our nation. I believe today we're going to be one of the best nations in the world. In 1965, was the second fastest growing economy next to Japan. In fact, we had so much money that we gave $10 million grant to South Korea as a nation. Can you imagine? And where we are today in 2024, compare that to South Korea, you really want to cry and say, Liberia have really, really suffered a huge leadership issue. And since 1978 to today, we have not get it right. We have not gotten it right. And it's saddening me that the situation back home, we are so fragmented, polarized, fighting one another, and we have not identified what we call to develop a nation state. We have a state, but we don't have a nation. You know, we have a government that running, but the nation is define the common interest of people and say this is what we need to do to go to the next level. We don't have a nation. We are so divided. We are so polarized. Liberia, everything is politicized. And we will leave this world, and next generation will just be the same cycle. Because we have not come together and say, this is the path to go as a nation. This is what we need to do. If someone stole money, whether they are part of my political party, let's deal with them. Let's set a standard that's been practiced by everybody. We have the resources. We have, what we say, competent manpower, but we just don't have the political will. And the population, we just continue to mirror and what I would call, we war bureaucracy, we reward people because they're my tribal group. Somebody told me, oh, you from the southeast, you from the east. Why are you speaking against CDC? You see that? So it becomes a tribal thing, it becomes a political thing. We don't want to look at the fact when someone do bad, we just try to defend it because we are part of this, a tribal group or part of this kind of a negative equation. Let's forget about that. Let's be more patriotic. I'm a patriotic Liberian, and I want to say, Joseph Boaga, it's time for me to talk to you. I'm coming to Liberia, but you need to really recalibrate yourself because we trust you. We think, we believe that you're supposed to do better, but things are not going the right way, and I will speak up on that. We got to recalibrate and take the nation the way we need the nation to go. I still want to, at this time, really believe you're still going to do the best, but right now I'm watching carefully, and I'll be able to speak to you on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bishop Hagar. The only thing I can say to that is it's definitely a new year. It's definitely 2025. To hear you, Bishop Hagar, saying that it's not looking so well, I don't know if this is what we should expect from you to come and criticize the administration when you think things are not looking well.
I did not criticize the administration. I'm saying there's room for massive improvement, and the improvement is it's minute, and I will expect more. So it's not criticism. I'm trying to recalibrate. I use the word recalibrate.
I want you to protect me, Bishop Hagar, because since President Boaga took office, you have seen nothing wrong. You haven't ever said, at least on this platform, that things don't look so well. And I don't think things just started to not look so well on January 1st of this year. So I'm just saying it's different for me to hear you say that. But the question I actually wanted to ask you is, just based off of what you said and some of the positional things I know you take, I have to ask you this question. When you talk about setting a standard, when you talk about having political will, and you being a patriot, now does that involve your position on matters when it comes to the Constitution of Liberia not being respected, when it comes to people not doing what is lawful? Because the position you have taken on issues, sometimes you seems to kind of ignore what the Constitution or the law says, specifically to the legislature leadership class, the House of Representatives. So how do you align those two things to set standard, to have political will, to be a patriot, and at the same time not follow what's lawful?
Thank you. Well, my opinion have always been the same. I said, if Konandi Kofa have really done the leadership that is required of him, will not be where we are. To have majority of his colleagues rejecting him, even if we go back to the drawing board, I am here saying tonight that it will be very, very difficult for him to manage effectively the House of Representatives because he has lost the confidence of his majority of his peers. So in so doing, there was a political position. So I will have love for him to resign. Now, my position remains the same. The statement is still there. Why? Because the majority still claiming that they have the framework and they are getting to it to get a number of votes. Let them go back to the drawing board. But I don't see how Kofa will still be speaker, even if they go back. I don't see it. For me, it's just a delay because they're not going to work. Please, let's stop there. That's what I hope. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, we have that on our agenda, and guys, I'm sorry for deviating a little bit. Let me. I don't want the Nicotech scholarship issue to go on the table. I think we should talk about that. But let me hear from Mr. Sheriff. Mr. Sheriff.
Yeah. Thank you so very kindly for giving us the opportunity. There are two important issues on my mind that I just want to talk about quickly. One has to do with the death of the Boulevard Palace Hotel manager, Awa Fotlo. As I make mention of his name, I am troubled. I am troubled because I see that my nation, Liberia, is going in a negative direction.
Can someone just mute this? There's a kid in the background. That's very distracting.
Yeah, I'm sorry for it's my background. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's worrisome, it's troubling to see in Liberia that allegedly top government officials will now start to unlife investors who left from their home and come to invest in Liberia only because they have some information to expose them of some dubious deeds, and that today this man is no more. I'm afraid. I'm out of words. I'm shocked. The second issue we have to do with the pronouncement of Mr. Bweka in Lofa about this issue of corruption. It's not something that we should overlook. It's not something that should be discussed just on the surface, but rather in depth. All of us listening very attentively when Mr. Bweka said in Lofa that he has given his blessing to his officials, that they can go ahead and steal, if I will put it in our common people way. It's just that when they steal, they should use the money on the people. I think that was one of the most ugliest day ever in the history of Liberia. That is even more dangerous than the war that we experienced. For the president of the nation to use a platform to officially say to the world that we as Liberians have officially endorsed corruption, that our leaders can engage in corruption, and once they use the money on few of their maybe people who are around them, praise singers or so, is okay. I think it's troubling for our nation. It is something we must not take lightly. And the last issue that I want to just skip over, because I know we'll go in detail, has to do with the series of mysterious deaths that is happening in Liberia. Fellow Liberians and people who are listening to us, Liberia is no longer the Liberia that we cherish. It's no longer the Liberia that we pray that at the end of the day, December, we all will run to go to. People, instead of now running to go to Liberia to spend their, holidays, they are now running out of Liberia because of all these mysterious deaths. And the thing that is even more, scaring about this death, the government is doing absolutely nothing. And it is even alleged that some of these deaths They are being orchestrated by people within the government, overseen by police, some police officers. It is scary that the police is doing absolutely nothing. When you go in our communities, the police will be out from 6 o'clock in the morning to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Immediately after 4 p.m., they are gone. And the communities are left in the hands of criminals and gangs to terrorize our people. While the police, they are running behind motorcyclists. But again, we want to say we are grateful we are here. I don't want to go in much because, like I said, the death of investors is something that is worrisome, is troubling. But we'll go in depth to discuss the issue. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. Just one quick question. Your statement on the death of former Boulevard Palace CEO, is that factual? Because you're alleging here that the government of Liberia has a hand to play in it.
Well, reading from the information that I have gathered from the Daily Observer, that is right before me, I can say that this information based on previous, interaction with some of these government officials from that Boulevard Palace Hotel, I can say here for sure that it is something that we must pay serious attention to. The information we must pay serious attention to. I would like to use that word, that we must pay very serious attention to the allegations that have been raised in this particular paper concerning these government officials.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheriff. Let's recognize the presence of Mr.
Derek?
Boda, and I will come back to you for a rebuttal, and then we'll come back to Mr. Boda. Mr. Boda, Happy New Year and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. And I want to extend my greetings to my fellow panelists here tonight, and Happy New Year. I'm also sorry for being late. I was trying to get something. I just came here. I wanted to eat a little bit to come on the show. I'm glad to be here, and I'm happy to be in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's okay. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll come back to you for your position on these issues, but let's hear from Mr. Sandy Hazel.
Yeah, Derek, I just want to piggyback on what you said. As a journalist, I'm always mindful in terms of how people make public pronouncements. The credibility of any media institution is brought into question when people disseminate information that tend to be inaccurate. I was a little bit troubled when I heard Mr. Sherry say that the death of the gentleman at the hotel, Boulevard Hotel, allegedly has the making of some public officials. And he said he read from the paper, and he thinks that people in government are behind that. I think as a media outlet, I think we should dismiss that, because this is a very huge allegation. This is not a pronouncement that you make only because you're angry with somebody. Where are the facts? The police is probing. I do not work for the Liberian government. I do not speak for the Liberian government. But I'm just concerned that if we are here, a panelist makes such an allegation in the absence of evidence, that's troublesome. The police is probing, and he has already convicted, or he has already claimed that this guy was murdered by people in government. Let Mr. Sherry tell us how can he authenticate what he just told us.
Thank you, Mr. Sandy. Look, in defense of the network, when doing the introduction of the show, I say it's an opinion-based talk show, and a disclaimer I provided that we're not responsible for the information any panelists provide here. We don't I'm not saying we don't fact check, but it's your responsibility as a panelist here to challenge the information that Mr. Sherry is providing here.
Yeah, that's why I would challenge the information.
But
I'm reading from the news. I'm reading from the news that reliable sources
Bishop Hager,
no, let's dismiss
I will come.
Nonsensical,
I want you to protect me first.
Prince Sherry.
Bishop
That's the
Hager,
kind of thing I will not allow you to continue to say. Don't even
you have
give
to
credence
respect the
to
rules
that.
of the show. You have to respect the rules of
go
the show.
ahead.
I will come to you if you have any qualm, but for now I have to clarify that LRTN does not own up to any of the position or claims made here. So it's up to individual panelists or the audience to challenge that information. Again, it's an opinion-based talk show. We do not own any opinions or position that will be offered, not just from Mr. Sherry, but from any one of you. So again, with that being said, let me recognize Bishop Reeves, and then after, I understand Bishop Hager got a rebuttal. I will give him the opportunity to do so. Bishop Reeves.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hi, Bishop. Happy New Year.
The same to you.
Happy New Year to you as well, Bishop Reeves. Bishop Hager, I'll give you the opportunity to rebuttal to respond.
I'm quoting from the story in the front page newspaper, one of the most credible newspaper in Liberia. So while the cause of death remains unverified, the Liberian National Police has launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident. Preliminary reports from local sources have speculated that Follow may have taken his own life, though these claims have not been independently confirmed by authorities at the hotel. In a brief statement, the management expressed deep sorrow over the loss of Follow, describing him as more than just a leader in the hotel. Awa was not just a leader, he was the heart of Boulevard Hotel, inspiring every member of our team with his unwavering dedication, compassion, and vision. You see, that's some of the things that we can say to these seditions. Because we are Liberian, we want the country to go forward. They just speak all kinds of lies. I don't know whether they have mental duration that need to be corrected. Everywhere in the world, death happen. But everything happening in Liberia, it gotta be Unity Party, it gotta be Joseph Boakai, it gotta be somebody in government. Somebody can die right from heart attack. Somebody can happen. I know a friend who went to Walmart and parked a vehicle and died right on the wheel. Heart attack can happen. So for this man to just come and just because somebody died, it means that what interest is it for to kill somebody, a hotel manager, and somebody that working for somebody, not even the owner, and can't kill him for what? You guys got to stop this thing, Prince. I respect you. Try to use the education very properly. Don't come here and be causing all kinds of confusion like information that you gave it right now with the literacy in our country. People start speculating that it's true. It's not true. The investigation going on, you gotta say to yourself that it's a shameful thing for you to come on public media and say such a thing because you don't like the government, so everything will just be bad like that. Why they will kill a hotel manager? A hotel manager. What do you give out of that? Be serious, man.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to again come back to Mr. Sheriff, and I'll give you a minute, and then from there I'll take Mr. Boda and then get Bishop Reeves. Only question was mentioned, Mr. Sheriff.
I am looking at the Daily Observer newspaper right in front of me, and I just want to read just two.
Let him read the identical section of the paper that says that the gentleman was killed by people in government. Just read that for us.
It says here from the Daily Observer, I'm going to read that. It says here, sources close to the deceased allege that Footlow had been under significant pressure from his employer, Sam Halabi, who allegedly instructed him to meet with an associate at a residence shortly before his death. This meeting had become the focus point of a police investigation, with a security guard at the location now detained for questioning. The story took a dark turn with reports that Footlow was in possession of a leaked video containing evidence of high-level corruption amongst key government officials. I just want to stop right there. But it's there. Daily Observer newspaper. I will take the link and put it up here.
Yeah,
I'm
Derek.
saying this to mean that this particular individual, we all know that the government of the Unity Party, they are noted for carrying on these kind of, extrajudicial killing of people. It happened to Harry Greaves. Today, as we speak, the case of Harry Greaves, you know what happened when his body was discovered?
Where the full
There was
auditor
all kind
report?
of
Where the
different
full auditor report?
stuff on his
Where
body.
are the full
And
auditor?
when you look
Where
at
are
this
the full
particular
auditors?
information, this man had a video in his possession, according to close sources. People that we are talking to, even at the NSA or in government cycle, they are telling us that this man had video in his possession of some highly placed government official sharing some huge money, which they intimidated him and said that he should turn the video over to them. His
Derek.
refusal
Thank
is
you.
what led to his death today.
Thank you, Mr.
Derek,
Mr.
please.
Sani.
Yeah, just give me a second, Derek, please. I just want to underscore the key word. In the paper said sources close to the deceased alleged. Did they say that government people killed the man? They say alleged. It means it has been suspected, it has been reported that something like that may have happened. But this guy was very definitive. He said this man was murdered by people in government. The people didn't say that. The people said sources close to the deceased alleged A, B, and Z. So it is unfortunate that Mr. Sharif will come here to spew falsehood only because and he comes with his sweeping allegation. Look, let me tell you guys, I do not belong to no political party. You say, the UP is known for murdering people. I mean, come on, man. We are educated people. You don't hold intelligent conversation like that. When you speak, it has to be supported by evidence. Not those sweeping comments. It's very unfortunate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sandy. Let's hear from you, Mr. Boda.
Thank you, Derek. I'm glad to join my fellow panelists to talk to my brother Sharif.
It'll carry up volume up a little bit.
To talk to my brother Sharif. I know we have our difference in political support or ideologies. But let us leave this sensational, lasting headlines and read the paper, interpret it, and look at the context and say what it is. And I have some level of respect for you. You've been reporting, you have your own program, I honor the Palava Heart. You don't want to get spilled out something that you cannot support. We want to have this show to be credible. We want to have credible information disseminated out there. Not rumors, not speculations. Not talk on facts. I'm sorry. Let's talk on facts. All of your hate and disagreement with the Unity Party, we understand totally. You are 100% sedition, and you're here to defend all course of CDC-led government and administration. That's your right, and that's your constitutional, right to do so. But let us have information that will disseminate the right thing. Don't come on this show here and try to smear everybody with your misinformation. Because whatever you say out there will say, it says, boom, it was on LTN. LTN say they not want to say Sharif. So please, my brother, let us give facts. If there's an investigation going on, say alleged investigation is going on, and let's wait for the investigation.
Thank you, guys, and
yeah, please. And,
thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Bishop Reeves, let's hear from you.
I just got on the show and
yes, thank you for reminding me on that. We have several issues on our agenda tonight. I'll just go over them. President Boubacar, a recent trip to Ghana where he met with the president of Ghana, but according to the Executive Mansion Facebook page, he went there to honor the invitation to a wedding of a longtime friend. And we also talk about. We also have on our agenda the continuing leadership crisis at the legislature, and also the 2024 investment climate statement. And Mr. Sani brought up the Necotech scholarship scheme and the and the role the executive play in it, and also how it wasn't transparent in the beginning about some fees that was hidden and then later came up. So, and then Mr. Sheriff came on and talked about the death of the former CEO of Boulevard Palace, and it has just been an exchange, a rebuttal to that statement, pretty much. But we are having an open panel discussion. Those were some of the things that were highlighted.
And I pay tribute to Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter.
Speaking of that, like Laws, or former vice president, were on the show. We didn't hear you paying tribute to them. But again, that goes to say we don't let our own thing, like bro. But let's hear from you, Bishop Cephas Reese.
Oh well, I'll also pay my respect to former President Jimmy Carter. He was a good man, and also we also had a former vice president in Liberia. He was someone I knew personally, and he was a very good man. And so we want to extend our condolences to all of these people who have passed, great men who have affected our country one way or the other. And I just want to say, when it comes to information given to us by the press, it's always good to follow up and verify and make sure that what we're saying is something that has been proven and tested, because it's very easy for us to come up with allegations that will later on discredit us, and I would just advise all of us that whatever we come up to discuss, there are a lot of people who watch this show, they pay attention to what we're saying and what we're doing. So it's important that everything we give out here tonight, is something that is authentic, that we can stand by. That's what I have to say for now.
Thank you very much, Bishop Reeves. I would like to come back to you, Bishop Hager. When Mr. Sandy spoke about how the government handled this Nicotech scholarship, he questioned the executive, Mr. President Bouaka, handled it. He brought into question his competence, and that's not just on that issue. When it comes to several other issues in this administration, people always come back to question President Bouaka competence. And like we all do know, he has been around governance for over 40 years. He ran with that on his campaign, and all of these missteps, including the Nicotech issue, including how he spoke after the fire at the Capitol. And this is somebody that you speak very highly of. What do you think? It almost seems like this president cannot get it right. And for someone that been around politics or governance for such a very long time, how do you address this to the Liberian people, Bishop Hager?
Well, number one, His Excellency Joseph Yuma Bouaka is 80 years old.
Well, are we really
No.
Go ahead.
Allow me, please.
Go ahead.
And every one of us, when you reach a certain age, the age can tell on you in some of the way you speak. Sometimes your mouth can speak before your brain process it. So I will give him that age is not telling on him in a way, sometimes we speak. Now, another thing I would say, it been happening, and Bishop Reed can attest to that, in the effort of trying to get some deliverable or something to show to our people, our government, the official are not doing due diligence. It happened with the Coastal Highway project. Some 491 people came, and they make a lot of news. During President George Weah time, the Air Liberia fiasco came. They make a lot of news because there's a pressure on these leaders to show results. So in that, people with nefarious behavior can come and they can pretend to be good people. And the government of Liberia, honestly speaking, need help. So they're looking for help all over the place. When you look at the budget, $836 million, and all the pressing need we have, you know the government needs serious help. So once they have to learn through the process. I called upon them. You see, these days, with technology, you can place people at different places to give you information, do background check on people. So when people come in your country, don't forget, there are people that have, it's not only happening in Liberia, it's happening in Ivory Coast. A lot of scandal happening. People that came, but Ouattara is informed. See how his people at different level that was going through the process to verify these people. They will still come. You know, people with bad intention will still come. Liberia, the problem I'm having in Liberia is that those who know what to do are not being given the opportunity. You need to have some real talented guy in the information area to be able to gather information, disseminate information on these people in real time. When they come, because our people are novice. Let me tell you, I will say this.
Bishop Hager,
Can you allow me to speak my mind?
I had to give you 30 more seconds though, but because we're speaking for almost 3 minutes. You got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
We got to Liberia when I went there. You have a lot of people from Syria or people from Lebanon that came on the flight. And can you imagine a Liberian man will come and take the people, they're not even going through immigration, take them and come up because somebody has just posted on $200-300 in the envelope and give the immigration officer. The guy don't go through any process. This is the Liberia that would need to change. People are so vulnerable. We need to change it. It's not supposed to happen. If you went to Africa, I don't care wherever you are, you got to leave your passport through the information system. It need to be collected and documented. Who you going to? We don't have that kind of thing.
Thank you. Thank you, Bishop. Bishop Reeves, do you have a...
Yes. Bishop Hager, I want us to realize that politics is a very dangerous place. And I realize that people have played a lot of politics and it is coming back to bite. I remember very, very well on this show when we started during the campaign, I was called all kinds of names. I was called undercover sedition. I was called a different kind of names because I spoke about giving George Weah opportunity. I spoke about giving President Boyka opportunity. And so I got shot from every side. You know, I got shot from the Unity Party side. I got shot from the CDC side. Now, I'm saying this thing because I just heard Bishop Hager say something about Omen Boyka's age. But you all knew that Omen Boyka was this age. And you all told us that he was the wisdom basket, you know, and I can give you some of the names that was used on this particular show because they wanted President Boyka to be the president. I have nothing to do. I mean, I have no problem with that. Okay. But I don't want you to come on the show and give us an excuse about Omen Boyka's age. I don't want you to give excuse about the fact that, you know, he's up in age, so he might speak before or he must think before. No, this is the position of the most important position of Liberia. And so whoever it is, if you are vying for that position and you become the president, We will scrutinize whoever it is, whether it's Josh Weah or it's President Boyka. We will scrutinize everybody who takes on that position as the president of the Republic of Liberia. I believe in constructive criticism. That's what I believe. So please, if Omer Boyka age is telling, then he needs to resign and put somebody in there, because we will hold him at a high standard. Before he became president, we knew the problem of Liberia. We knew that Liberians were not paying attention to education. We knew that they were not. There was a lot of corruption everywhere. We were fully aware of that. Okay, look at what happened, and I've been kind of getting annoyed for the last couple of days, because guess what? This is something that's happening. You know, on this very show, when the government came into power, on this very show, I was very excited about what the police was doing. And I said it many times on the show that, you know, the police was doing well. You can stand up on Macklin Street and look down. I realized that what they did was very good, but it's just done that for just a few months, because right now I see them going right back to where we started. You know, the motorbike thing that we're talking about, I realize that they are not enforcing it as they started anymore. So I think somebody need to go back and speak to the government so that they can be consistent to make sure what they're doing, they continue to bring change to our country and don't make excuses. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop Reeves. I would like to come back to you.
Yeah.
I will come to you, Mr. Sherry, but let me hear from Mr. Sandy, because is in response to your position that Bishop Haggard said what he said, of which my question is based on. Then I'll ask you this question, but I'll first say this: when we don't seem to take elections very important as it should be in Liberia, because you myself know this very well, that families goes to bed hungry tonight. That's real. Goes to bed hungry every night in Liberia. Family heads cannot afford to put their children in school. For some, they have to send teenagers to go sell just to help the family out. When it comes to pregnant women, elderly women don't have access to good health care. Some communities don't even have access to safe drinking water. And I'm saying all of this to say that when election comes, that's the only real power or opportunity these people have to make a change in their life, to pick someone that will at least facilitate change, to bring those things to them. Now, we don't have the opportunity to get behind these microphones or this camera. We owe it to them for their gullibility and for their access, for not having access to information that for them to make good decisions. We owe it to them for our statement to reflect the reality of their situation, because at one point in time, we all were, in one way or the other, in their shoes. And I'm saying this to say, when Bishop Haggard campaigned for a political candidate and sold him to the Liberian people, to those very people, and said, this is the best man for it. Don't listen to how old they say he is. This man can go for another 10 years. And today, he can seem to get it right. What do you make of Bishop Haggard coming on this platform again and telling Liberian people, or just a year later, we think the mayor too old for the job? Mr. Sandy.
I'm not saying no.
Okay.
He's
Go ahead.
He's actually trying to frame my word. I'm saying he's competent. He's competent. He's going to do a great job. But we should be very mindful. Like every 80 years old, we shouldn't be taking every little mistake he made and try to politicize.
You're still saying the same thing. You don't have to say all the men too old for us to say you're.
So no, we will jack every mistake he makes. We will talk about it, because he is the president. So we hold him in high esteem. He is the president. He makes a mistake. We'll hold him.
Let's hear from Mr. Sandy.
Yeah. So, Reverend, in summary, just from listening to you, The word I would use to describe your statement is that you're telling Liberians that the president is sent out, meaning that age, his age is having a serious toll on his ability to comprehend his mental state. It's also having a significant toll on his physical activity. So the older an individual becomes, the decision making begin to decline, and you can see that. Like someone like me who does clinical work, that's why we talk about cognition. When you begin to see, sometimes you see an older person, you talk to the person, and the person is talking like, your 6 or 7 year old. I'm not diagnosing the president yet, but your language seems to suggest that he's older. And so right now he will say some things that are unrepresentative of him. And to a greater extent, I do agree. And this is what I would even want to say. And I will say this by correcting another error that came from Mr. Sharif. He said that the president went to Lofa and told his people, steal, but use the money, to bless the people. Mr. Barker did not say that. Mr. Barker misspoke. He said, as someone who teaches behavior modification, when we're trying to change negative behavior, we do not encourage. You teach people to learn the consequences of the behavior. And this is what the president said. I'm not quoting him directly, but this is what he said. He said, for those of you who want to remain corrupt and steal money, I beg, I encourage you to use the money for the good of the people. He did not say steal the money and use it for the people. He said, those of you who want to remain corrupt and steal, I beg, use the money for the good of the people. So the president is being taken out of context because he used the word I beg. I encourage you. These are the words that people are running with. When you want someone to change, you should say, hey, those of you who want to steal and who want to remain corrupt and steal, I want you to desist. Use the people's money or use the money to bless the people. That's what he should have said, desist. But he said, I beg. So Prince Sharif and the others are running with that to say that, oh yeah, the man is telling the people to steal. No, he actually meant to say, hey, you need to stop. But the president public relations people also did not help him. And this is the problem we have in Africa. We present our leaders as saints. Oh, these people are infallible. As human beings, we do make mistakes. Yes. When you are in error, you acknowledge that you made a mistake and make the correction. Hey, look, the president made an error very quickly. The executive mansion should have just said, hey, look, the president did not mean to say, hey, go about stealing. The president is a human being. He made an error. He spoke, but this is what he meant to say. But what did the executive mansion do? They went about, blaming politicians. Oh, yeah, they're taking the man's statement out of context because of political reason. All they needed to do was to acknowledge that the president misspoke. Let me stop there.
Thank you. It seems like you're coming. It seems like you're coming in defense of the president on this one. And I'm going to say this to say that you said this is what the president said. And you say you're not quoting him for Britain, but this is what he should have said. And this is how the Liberian people interpreting it. This is what the executive branch should have done. And again, with President Parker's experience, his statement shouldn't be leaving room for people to interpret it in the way others are interpreting it. some will say the president didn't misspeak.
That's what I say. He misspoke.
Some say that's what he wanted to say. If the president, with
Yeah,
all
the
of,
Prince Sheriff.
I'll come to Mr. Sheriff next. With all of his experience, can
Yeah.
make a statement of that magnitude, and people can run with that type of interpretation. That's maybe coming back to what Bishop Hicks say, the man age. Maybe that's what it's coming down to. But let's hear from you, Mr. Boda. President Bouaka competence. I know it's too early to talk about that because the way Bishop Hagar and Unity Party sold this man, I will hope Amen will be running for second term instead of him saying we got to consider the man age. You should have told that during the election season. But let's hear from you, Mr. Boda, and then we'll take Mr. Sheriff next.
Well, look, one thing, my take on this is that, look, one thing that is lacking in the process is patriotism from our own self. The president cannot be in every offices.
Mr. Boda need to come up though.
Yeah, I think you need to move closer to the camera. Yeah, go ahead.
To run every offices. This is why sometimes you employ people who Liberians. Many of our Liberians, we have the qualification, have the education, but we are not patriots. We don't love country. Because of that, we take advantage of every opportunity that we have to make our leader look bad. That's one thing that we need to fight to stop. Because many of our those that serve as a civil servant in appointed positions, even those that are being elected by their people, are not doing justice for them, are not working for the people. So, and again, we don't have institution. Everything is based on individual idea, individualism. That's what we have in Liberia. We do not have a political institution. We don't have anything that is built on an idea, on policies, on what we want, the vision that we have as an institution. So because we don't have those situations in Liberia, we have the individualized mindset. So people just run with how they want to go about doing things by themselves. Because, take for example, the Unity Party. This party is just based on the back of Joseph Boakai right now. It's not an institution. All the political parties in Liberia are not based as an institutional political party. They are based on individual basis. So as that individual step aside, you don't have anything. So this is why we have all of the problems that we have today in Liberia. So we have to learn how to start building institutions, not just building party, or we say we got party, but we don't have an institution. The same with our Liberian government. We are swayed away from continual governance to individualizing our government. So that's why we have a problem. Boakai will make statement here, and because it says something, yeah, we all make mistakes. We all sometimes you speak, you say something. I don't care who you are. All of the best leader in the world has misspoke in some cases. They have said something that they're not supposed to say, or the phrase the way they're supposed to have framed it, they might have framed it wrongly. And we all sit on this platform, do less wise. So, but let us be sincere and truthful to ourselves as a nation, and see the light beyond the tunnel. You as a government employee, as an official of government, you have no duty to just be corrupt or misuse the fund that were entrusted into you. It's just mind-boggling to see how we run our country in the grave. I'm sorry to say, man. I don't care who we bring today. You can bring whoever in the Liberian government. If you don't have an institutional based government, you're not going to do anything.
Thank you, Mr. Boda. Before we take our first break, and I want to get back from the break, Mr. Sheriff, I will remember to come to you first. But Mr. Boda, I don't know if it was a mistake, because we saw your reaction on this network and on this show when Nathaniel McGill made similar statement. I don't know if you thought that was a mistake as well. But I don't know why this.
I hope you understand my context.
I
I'm
understand.
not saying it was a mistake, but I'm saying to you generally.
We shouldn't talk about it too much because people can make mistakes all the time. Even
No, I'm not saying don't talk about it. That's not what I'm saying. The corruption part of it that we're taking as an issue is something that is to start making our society.
We agree.
It's not because of the president that people are corrupt.
No, but we're not. That's not people that are criticizing.
That's a statement. It's because of people he made a statement.
I understand what you're saying, but I think those.
So I don't want you to quote me say, "Oh yeah."
No, I just think
the president is liable for his statement.
I understand the president. Mr. Boda, I understand the president. They liable for his statement. I understand that. But don't let me ask my production team to bring up the episode right after Nathaniel McGill make that statement, and let's see whether you have the same. You don't seem to be coming with that same. You don't seem to be coming with that same energy when the president. Listen. But before we get into that, Bishop Hagar. Let's take our question.
Nathaniel McGill was caught red-handed.
Bishop Hagar.
The two situations different. He's advising people to be patriotic. That's all. He's telling people to be patriotic.
Bishop Hagar, please.
Let's
protect Derek.
Let's take our first break. When we come back, we'll hear from Mr. Sherry. Then we'll give Bishop Hagar the opportunity to talk to us about the difference between that. But if you're watching us, this is episode 5 of season 7 of the Hard Zone. We'll take our first break, and when we come back, we will continue our conversation.
Introducing Suku Express, shipping from the USA to Liberia, offering pickup services from Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, and New York. Suku Express is very reliable, efficient, trustworthy, and seamless. U.S. warehouse and loading dock is at 54101 Tacony Street, Philadelphia, PA 19137. Contact 267-987-6821 or 267-437-6463. Then in Liberia, at Dry Rice Market, Bannersville Road. Contact 0775-245-666 or 0555-594-53.
Hey, this is Grace, the CEO of the founder Suku Express. Parcel your stuff good, valuable stuff goes in a plastic barrel. You gotta shrink wrap, you lock the barrel, you gotta shrink wrap the barrel, protect your stuff. Boxes, use shoes. Any box taller than me, I can't ship it.
With Suku Express, your worries are over. Ship with confidence and ease. Thanks for doing businesses with Suku Express.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching us, this is episode 5 of season 7 of the Hard Zone, and my name is Derek Yale. I'm playing host tonight, and I'm here with my panelists, Bishop Hagar, Mr. Sandy, Bishop Reeves, Mr. Martin Boda, and Mr. Sheriff. Been following the conversation. We were talking about a lot of different issues here. We were on questioning the president's competence on how he's handled a couple of things in his administration. Mr. Sandy mentioned the Nicotech scholarship, and we talk about his pronouncement in Lofa County. Mr. Sheriff talked about that. And we've gotten a couple of reactions from the other panelists on that, but I'd like to go back to Mr. Sheriff. You've listened to the conversation very well. I'm sorry I haven't called on you so many times on the show. But again, now I would like to come to you so you can give us your take on the discussion.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again. Like we said from the very beginning during the campaign era, that entrusting Liberia with Mr. Joseph Newman Boyka was the most dangerous thing. It's like putting a nuclear weapon in the hands of somebody who is, mentally unstable. Because at the end of the day, that's dangerous. Today, we are grateful that what we said yesterday and we were rebuked by some of Mr. Boyka faithful followers, that today they are using this platform to re-echo it. are clearly listening to Bishop saying that we cannot trust Mr. Bweka because of his ability to comprehend. There are some problems, some impediment problem with his ability to comprehend. So we must forgive him. Is this what you will tell the people 2029? So those who have died under the command of Joseph Nyuma Bweka in Grand Cape County. So you are not correct. Why you say y'all go kill the people? Oh, so you're trying to tell me that the reason why, as I speak to you, our people are taken out of job. And because Joseph Nyuma Bweka is not correct, let's put it like Brian way, you're not correct. So you just sit down and tell Josiah Joker, say, go move the people from their job, then you go and do it. You see why we must ensure that Joseph Nyuma Bweka must be given red card, that we must ensure that this man does not spend the 6 years. And you see what we're saying? Because this man is a danger to our democracy. We are seeing it now. It is happening. This is somebody who is in bed with the junta. Look at today what happened here in the United States. Look at what happened today in the United States. Today we are seeing that terrorist activities is all around the place. Just few days ago, Bweka went to the junta and collect materials from them from Guinea. These people who are in bed with Russia and other nations that, does not conform to what we call the current day reality of democracy. We are seeing these people in bed with Joseph Nyuma Bweka. These are the reason why we continue to tell our people, look, we must do everything democratically to ensure that Mr. Bweka is giving a record. Because if his followers can come here and try to paint a war and try to, look, by profession, I am a teacher, and I'm proud to be a teacher. We all listening to Mr. Bweka's statement. I may not be very, maybe, the English word, BB or whatever, but I was trained by good professors. Went to the AME University, graduated from the Teachers College also. So at least my ability to comprehend, to understand, I can understand. I can understand very well. For you to come here and try to sugarcoat the words of Mr. Bweka, when he said it, get the clip right here. That look, my people, government official, you can be corrupt, but just make sure when you are corrupt, take the money and spend it on the people. Then I am seeing that people are not angry in their spirit. When you see tonight, are not really excited because of what is happening in the country. In less than no time, we have recorded more than 35 deaths, mysterious deaths around the place. Everything sponsored by government. Because the reason why I am saying these things are sponsored by government, look, the Liberian people went to the pool and they voted for the government. What did they vote for? They vote for protection. They voted so that at the end of the day, the government can ensure that they have jobs and etc. But today, if the government we voted for is abandoning the people, the police that is supposed to be protecting the people is firing the people, with live bullets, then what do you expect me to say? What do you expect me to say? Look at what is happening in Liberia. As I speak to you, the president, the vice president, in fact, the executive have connived against the Speaker of the House, wanting to make sure that he exerts full authority over the entire governance system. Look at what is happening. That today, Joseph Nyuma Bweka is ordering Gregory Cuomo, you understand, to go to the Speaker office and ensure that they move the Speaker from there. Where is our democracy? And this is what we are saying to the international community. Look, you spend enough money to bring us thus far, and we appreciate that. All of the money you people spend, we will not hesitate to ensure that we protect. Look, the first law of nature is self-preservation. When government is against its own people and doing everything to ensure that they can exterminate the people, we are under obligation to protect ourselves. And we will protect ourselves against the tyrannic regime. We will do that in any way possible. Look, we not mince our words. We not mince our words. We died for democracy. Almost 250,000 plus people died. Why did they die? In defense of democracy. But why some of them died? So we will sit down here, somebody who has been confirmed by one of his loyalists that this man cognitive ability is not correct. The man head shaking. The man is brain out there. Then we sit down for the man to plunge us into chaos. They say, sit down, but look at it, but just be quiet. It is unfortunate. I expect my own big brother and father, Mr. Sandy. I remember I just did a very, 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 somebody would say, a tough statement when President Weah announced this issue of the scholarship, Aja was on their feet in showing that the CDC-led government is checkmated. But today, look at what is happening. I am even surprised with, a father and a big brother, Mr. Sandy, a fellow panelist, speaking on some of these things. Aja was very vocal today. Where is Aja? Where are the press releases that they were releasing yesterday? Look, if Liberia will be better, we must ensure that people who say they get good plan for this country, that they play their part. And that's why some of us are here. Look at today. What is Aja saying? What kind of news article we have seen of Aja? With all of this killing, the killing from Grand Cape County, the killing of our people, somebody go to police cell, they die in police cell. What is the press release from Aja? The honorable big brother, the father, he served as former president of Aja. He issued several statements. He condemned the Weah-led government, XYZ, and said, today he is not condemning Bweka. He is not. With all of these atrocities, with all of the mass dismissal, he is not. He's sitting comfortably and want to question our own ability to checkmate this government. Say, hey, we get no evidence. We have the evidence, and we are saying that all of these people that have been killed, it is by the instruction of Joseph Newman Bweka. We can either give command by our action or our inaction. When you are given a responsibility and you choose to renege on that responsibility, you say that it's also an approval that you have given for wrong thing to happen. So everything that has been happening, that's what we voted for. These people said we were incompetent. The CDC-led government was incompetent. They had no idea about governance and etc. etc. They were coming to rescue the country. Look at today what is happening. Liberia is in a complete chaos. People are leaving Liberia. Investors are dying. Was it not on the same platform yesterday? You and I discussed about an investor that Gregory Coleman sent police to go take the people money. Was it not on the same platform, my people? Was it not on the same platform we're discussing on how Gregory Coleman sent to my police officer? They went and hijacked investor. They put hair in their pocket. They took their money. The people thought they put hair on their head. They carried them to police station and said they're going to lock them up. Was it not on the same platform? Where is the statement from Ajas? Where's the statement?
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff.
Yes, so Derek.
your name, and
yeah,
oh my God!
Continuously, I need to just make some clarification.
Go ahead. And I'll come to you next, Bishop Hager, because your name was also mentioned.
All right, so Sheriff, first let me say thank you for acknowledging that during my leadership, Aja took definitive positions on the malfeasance in Weah's Liberia. And that's why when I speak, when I lead, I don't lead impulsively. Meaning I don't act in the moment. I do sober reflection. The records are out there. My name is too big. So I just want you to do a little bit of research. When you leave this show, just go into Google and do a research on Aja. Aja, under my leadership, stood in defense of the people of Liberia. The Aja of today has consistently spoken about some of the malfeasance in Bweka's administration. Just 2 weeks ago, I condemned Joseph Boakai. Go into Google, type Moses Sandy.
You did that on an individual level. We're talking about the institution. I agree. We are talking about the institution. When you serve as the president, there were press statements issued in the name of Ajas. I agree with you. I'm not arguing that.
Mr. Sheriff, let's pretend Mr. Sandy.
Yeah, Mr. Sheriff, you said Moses Sandy, where are you today? Where's the Aja today? That's what I'm saying. The Aja that I led for 5 years is the same Aja today. If you have a smartphone, go on your phone right now and just put in Aja. Bweka's government, you will see multiplicity of press releases. But you're not reading, you're just talking loosely. Unfortunately, I don't want to come across as condescending, but you're just talking. And we don't do it that way. Moses Sandy, I spoke just recently. I said, Joseph Boakai is behind Kufuor's removal. Before I came to this podcast, I just spoke against Boakai administration for what is happening at the Capitol. Again, go search Moses D. Senate on social media. You will see multiplicity of podcasts. You will see multiplicity of statements from Moses Senate, from Aja. Everything we do is documented. My name is too big. That's what I said. When you're talking loosely, that's what I told this guy earlier, that when we come to places like this, our society is so gullible, Prince. It's so gullible. You have the audacity to sit there and you say a government is determined to exterminate, and you're making that statement. Where's the evidence? You're just talking because you want to come across as a hero for the CDC. That's insanity. Don't do that. I mean, you're a young man. You have a future. Why would you want to compromise the future because of George Weah? And lastly, let me say this to you, Sharif. In 2023, when Liberians went to the pool for the presidency, Moses Sandy and others, other nationalists, we campaigned against Mr. Weah because of the two. Joseph Boakai was the best. Today, if you were to hold election today, George Weah, Joseph Boakai will beat him. Mr. Weah had no clue. He was aloof, meaning that he was never engaged in anything. He was only interested in entertainment. That's what he wanted. He was never a leader. He has never been a leader. He was very dishonest. What kind of man comes to the presidency in less than 6 months? You built for yourself 47 condominiums. And Prince Sherry, you have the audacity to sit here and say, Boakai administration. I do not speak for the Liberian government. I speak on critical issues in the interest of our people. Google me, Moses Sandy. Google Aja. Let me stop there.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr.
Well,
Sandy.
let me make a very important call. I said, age is telling on Joseph Yuma Boakai, His Excellency, but he's more competent, more qualified. My president, Joseph Yuma Boakai, during the election, sent a challenge to George Weah. Can't let debate that 50-some-year-old man could not show up. If we want to evaluate the capability and the capacity, the intellectual capacity of the both men, let George Weah agree to come debate with Joseph Yuma Boakai and see who competent.
Just to a point, just to inject, please, if I'll be giving 30 seconds.
No, you're not injecting anything. You have a man that can
I am here. I have all of the resources. All of the resources to my disposal.
You're not
right?
speaking. You're not
Bishop
speaking.
Hagar, Bishop Hagar. Mr. Sheriff, you're not recognized. Let's protect Mr. Bishop Hagar.
If Mr. Sheriff that supporting or talking about George Weah, President George Weah, if you think George Weah more competent, more ready for the presidency, I can challenge him. George Weah cannot stand in front of Joseph Yuma Boakai to even have a meaningful conversation. George Weah know anything about policy, know about governance. George Weah able to go before one leader to articulate.
At no point in time he told the official to go see. At no point in time he told the official be corrupt.
Listen.
At no point in time.
When the president
That is not on our record.
Listen. Let me school you. The old man been going around the world making speeches. Are you not satisfied to see our president standing on one stage?
At no point in time he brought Nicotech. The government could not with any organization to steal from common people. At no point in time.
Listen, the man went to Europe, he went to Asia, he went to Japan. See how he stood on the one stage. That man spoke. One leader listen. When John Weah able to talk like that, man, let me see you, man, Liberian people. Let me see you. We're not here.
It is unfortunate. It is. It is unfortunate. And these are some of the things that we are saying. I'm listening to Honorable Sandy, right? I'm listening to Honorable Sandy and I'm listening to Bishop talking about somebody speaking, somebody not speaking, or that is not the issue. The issue is about the implementation of policy.
Oh,
The
man.
people in Chinese, are they speaking English, but they are implementing policy? The people all the way there in Russia, or wherever, however you will call it, what are they doing? They are implementing policy. Now, for you to come here and tell us that President Weah was lackadaisical, he was this, he was that, you are making an error. I listening to the big brother Sandy, you know, a leader in our community who highly respect, who high regard, talking about his condemnation. We are talking about Ajas. We're not talking about individual here. I am right here. Let Ajas, let them right here on their page right here. Let their page right here are on. Aja is now presenting how you call a war to Joseph Yuma Boyka. That's what they engage in. They are engaged in a honeymoon. Presenting, no, let me tell this thing. I don't know how to tell this here, bro. Is it presenting a war? Yeah, is it presenting a war to Joseph Yuma Boyka? Instead of these people, instead of these people,
when did we present a war to
you
Joseph
understand, ensuring that they can speak on the people's behalf, they are now in bed with Joseph Yuma Boyka. We know they're not in bed with Joseph Yuma Boyka. And look, so just end with this, right? This 30 second interview. So just end with this. As I speak to you, look at what is happening as it relates to the undemocratic nature of Mr. Boyka fighting another arm of government. That is the judiciary arm of government. Up to now, what have these people said? Individual coming out to talk. Mr. Sandy is a respected former president. We understand that. Yes, we appreciate that. But the institution, have the institution taking any stand against it? You think we know what's happening? You think we don't know what's happening? These people have received draft. And that's the reason why we are saying, look, after this particular leadership of Mr. Boyka, some of these people who support Mr. Boyka, they will be apprehended and taken to jail. That they will be taken to jail because these people are aiding and abetting in the act of corruption of Mr. Boyka. Today we see churches, for example, the Muslim council, they are not talking. The Christian people, the Christian council, the people are not talking. Only a few bishops are talking, which we appreciate. And we want to say thank God for those bishops who are praising the stone to say we will talk. We will not bow down to this golden image. Today, Aja is bowing down to the golden image because they are not in the payroll. I can give you 3 top officials of Aja that are in government payroll. One, Mr. Bandu. No. Look, we display record. In fact, we display record. These are people that have been paid by this government to ensure that people are quiet in the diaspora. And you know, Mr. Bandu is aware of that. They are aware of that.
With display record on your two
Mr. Sheriff?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. We have to hear from Bishop Reeves.
Look, you see, look, let me tell you something. I'm enjoying this platform. The only thing is, I always like to tell Mr. Sheriff, don't be reckless. Don't go to the extreme. And the same thing I was saying to Bishop Hagar. Don't be reckless and don't go to the extreme, because that's what both of them on the show love to do. They love to go to the extreme. You want to talk about corruption and you want to talk about bringing people, calling people to book and talk about listing and all of that. I got your whole pedigree here when it comes to the CDC government. So please, let's leave that thing alone and let's move forward so we can help the Liberian people. That's what we need to do. Don't come and compare corruption. I don't want you to do that. All right? If President Boyka misspoke, we will hold him his feet to the fire and say, look, oh man.
So he did not misspoke. It's intentional. He did not. Because he is living by his action. No, misspeak means you tell the thing, you not know, you not do it. But he missaid the thing, and he is doing it. You know what is happening at the Ministry of Commerce. You know, Ami Moda took some huge money from there. Vodka, at the end of the day, he walked away.
No, I wouldn't even want you to go to Ami Moda because
so he did not misspoke. Spoke on any issue.
Listen. In defense of Ome Boyka, this is the first year. We just got into January. And this is the first year. Let me finish. This is the first year. Okay, we just got into January that will say that the Boyka government has gone for 1 year. And look at what some people have been fired. Okay?
When did George Weah start firing people in his government? Why are we?
Also, it means that you are now telling us that it's okay that first year, the other year, all the thing when you do more for them, right? We should ignore. We should ignore this grievous atrocity that have been committed by Mr. Bweka.
What kind of
Today, as I
atrocity you want to talk about? You want to start comparing?
So you are saying that we must close our eyes on all of these atrocities. The killing of our people in Blanket Man County, the almost 27 deaths that have occurred, the recent photo, how you call death that
You want to
occurred,
protect me? That means somebody put me in mouth and me saying nothing over here.
an investor who came to invest in your country, his money was taken, so you say we ignore it. We should ignore it, right? We should ignore all of the atrocities. Okay, I agree. The people listening to you.
Mr. Sheriff, Mr. Sheriff.
No, I think Derek got to protect us.
Mr. Sheriff,
What
you're
are
not
they talking about here?
No problem.
Then can I get up and talk about atrocities? Let's talk about atrocities in the George Weah government. Let's talk about corruption in the George Weah government. Let's put it outside one by one.
You were voted. That's why you were voted for. That's why you were voted for, sir. That's why you were voted for, Bishop. You made a case and you were voted for in order to come and do what is right. But look at what is happening.
So we voted for George Weah. I mean, the man was put into power. We must give the man opportunity to do what he needs to do. But
when you didn't tell all of them were giving opportunity, with just under 1 year, you have more than 27 deaths. Mysterious death, so we're giving opportunity.
You have become very reckless in your
Bishop, are you saying, Bishop, I come in, so just lay on the, are you saying we'll give public official opportunity to speak? Is that what you Bishop? Is that what you saying, Bishop?
We should give
public official must we give public official the opportunity to speak? Is that what you saying?
What have you people done? What have you people done about Nathaniel McGill?
Bishop, I'm coming, Bishop. I want to give you Bishop, look, I am, oh God, I want to cry. So Bishop is saying we must give government official opportunity to speak.
Mr. Sheriff,
Derek, I'm waiting for when you give me my time. I will deal with Sherry here right now.
I would love to give you your time, but if both of you having this is an exchange, it's difficult for us to follow the rules of the show. We cannot have.
No problem. The Bishop going to get the people chance to speak. No problem. I agree.
We cannot have the show like this. We have to protect each other so we can make our point, and then we'll be able to adequately respond to each other.
Just people don't want to give people the opportunity to speak. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
You're not recognized, Bishop Reeves. I will come back to you with a minute. But please, guys, let's continue to keep the conversation in a way that we can understand each other's points. Bishop Reeves, I'll give you a minute and you're protected.
This is not a political campaign we are running here. We are talking about the future of our country. For reckless men like Sheriff to come and sit here, to come and compare corruption, compare stealing, compare all the different things. I'm ashamed of hearing Sherry say the thing that he's saying over there. Nathaniel McGill stole from this country, and I can call all of their names and the different things that they did. Nobody touched them or did anything, and they rewarded him by allowing him to become a senator today in our country. The one who George Weah trusted, and he stole, and he gave, and he and George Weah, all of them stole from this country. Then you want to sit down here and talk about comparison with what's happening now? And you want to give, let me tell you something, and quote me from now on, George Weah would never become president for this country again. So you don't even waste your time to tell us anything about George Weah business and talk about corruption. Let's deal with the country. Let's deal with what's going on right now. If Omar Bweka says something that's wrong, we will condemn him. If Omar Bweka doesn't do the right thing, we will speak about it. Okay? But we're not coming to reward rogues. We're not doing that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bishop Sheriff. Yeah. Bishop Reeves, I'm sorry. Mr. Sheriff, I will give you a minute. I'll give you a minute. We have to take our last break. And then, so we come back for the closing remark.
Exactly.
So let me be given an opportunity.
There ain't got nothing to say, Derek. Don't give me no opportunity.
I need protection. I need to be protected.
You need protection.
I need protection.
You need to go to jail. You need protection.
Mr. Sheriff, give me a minute. I will provide the necessary protection.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, Mr. Boda, but I have to hear from Mr. Sheriff, and then after you, Mr. Boda, will go to Mr. Sandy. Let's please protect Mr. Sheriff. Mr. Sheriff, you got a minute.
We grew up in an environment where the Bible and that of the Quran are some of the most sacred book. And people who stood before the congregation, they are people we consider as mediator between men and God. And these are the people we run to for instructions, for the way forward, etc., etc. And we still hold that deep in our hearts. We still hold that despite of whatever are going on. But I am a bit disappointed. And now I can see why the churches are completely mute when all of these atrocities are committed in our country. Corruption now is taking the order of the day. For people to come on this platform and say, oh, let's get a bad chance. Must give people a chance to steal. Must give people a chance to deny our people of these basic social services, of roads, of hospitals, etc., etc. He said, let's get a bad chance. We must give them a chance. When, as Honorable Sandy just said it, he is opening about this nicotine issue, about 100+ Liberians. They were cajoled by this government for government to bring forward now people to come steal for our own people, my people. Imagine government bringing an organization so can let's go now with you so we can steal from our own people. Already the people ain't get job.
Thank you,
and people are satisfied. People are saying that it is okay. We must give change. Look, we are not there to learn on this. I gotta look at the time. We are not in the business of giving people chance because they told us that they have come to rescue. Imagine somebody come to rescue. They give me chance. No, give me chance. They call on fire. They get chance.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Let's hear from you, Mr. Boda.
Derek, I'm getting disappointed with you as well. You are monitoring the show. You are the moderator. The people want us to discuss issues that they can benefit from. We can't come here, somebody who does not have the reputable, the character to talk about atrocity. This man, the CDC government CDC people cannot talk about atrocity in this country, in Liberia. Okay? You cannot talk about governance. You cannot talk about policy. So when we come on this show, some of us supported the Unity Party and we still support the Unity government. But when we see the wrong, we speak to it. That not for once that my brother Sharia had ever said something that ever went wrong within the CDC-led 6-year regime. Not once. Everything that was done in the CDC government, he defends it to the core of his life. And you talk about Liberian people. Do you have the nerve to sit on the show and talk about Liberian people? You shouldn't be talking about Liberian people because you treated the very Liberian people to the death of the core. We all understand that Mr. Bwaga he has a misstep in a regime, but in 1 year it surpasses your 6 years was mess that he was doing. There is some responsibility. There is some accountability. There were not once in the real government for one accountability. We see people being fired. We see people talk against his government. The real government, people were dying 24/7, murdering people in the streets. How many officials of government have you heard our murder? How many auditors, how many civil servants have been killed in this government that you can count off? Somebody dying, everything is investigated. We've seen this in live. Let us talk about the issue in Liberia. Let's get that far away from the campaign. We're not campaigning here. We're talking about
so those that are dying because they are not auditors, so it's okay. You should not investigate.
Mr. Sheriff.
I'm sorry, but I just want to ask.
Let a man speak. Let a man
So
speak.
I agree. I just want to those who are dying because they are not auditors, so they can investigate.
Let the man speak.
That's not the point I'm making to you. When you talk
What
government, people dying, there's ongoing investigation. You are not coming up with any evidence, but you're just spewing off stories that you got no evidence, you got no proof of anything you have said on the show here. You cannot prove anything to have magnitude of the case that you're preaching on here. You're running judgment on these people, on government, how they esteem people. Where that come from? This show should be responsible. We're not here to just be talking out of our heads. Okay, we should talk. We have evidence, with proof, with facts, and giving up people let people understand what's going on in Liberia. We spoke against the Ome Bwaga. the way he handled the crisis at the Capitol. Not all on the show here defended him for what he did at the Capitol. We spoke against it.
Exactly.
For every mistake that he made, we will talk about it. If he does it good, we'll talk about it good. That's how they show want to run their show. We want to run their show with balance, not just bias. We want to come here and get a LeBron fair decision making. You love CDC, but when it's an issue that happened, let's talk about the issue. If the government have done something, say the facts about the issue the government have done. We can't just go back in the past every day. You come here spitting lies and all stuff that we don't have no evidence about. We all knew what happened in the past 6 years with Georgia. And we know what happened in the 1 year period with Mr. Walker. He's doing a very good job, I can say that. LeBron having some credibility right now in the national community. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Any way you want.
Thank you very much, Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. You expressed disappointment in how I'm moderating the show earlier, and if I heard you right,
yes,
and me allowing people without credibility, I think you're referring to Seditian or directly Mr. Sheriff on this show. Now, what I will say to that is, I think it works better for our democracy when the opposition can hold the government feet to the fire. And now it's up to you and up to them, however means they choose to do it. If you don't think it's credible, you can challenge them. You can hold it. You can kind of reply to them.
Let me talk upon the injection. I'm not saying what I'm saying is talking across here and we're not getting each other. That's what I'm talking about. This is a problem with you. I don't worry about Mr.
No. I understand that.
Everything he says that.
But let's be fair.
Why he spill out there with the Roman? But I want you to handle the show so that we can enjoy the show. But you saw what happened between here and Bishop.
Yeah, I was here for
it.
Here,
everybody else want to speak. He go back with the same. If he play the cassette, if he had a recording and play it, all of the same story will come. All the recording will have on the show.
So Derek,
Sherry's
can I come in?
Yes,
before you come in, Mr. Sandy. I think it's. I mean, I heard what you said, but I think it's important to be fair, and that's what I try to do here. To just be fair to anybody, make your point. If you want to challenge whoever point, you have the freedom to do so. But I can't be the one here asking you to provide the fact checking.
No, I said fact check. Let's speak.
Protect me.
Get a chair to speak. That's what I'm saying.
Protect me. I think everyone's contribution is very vital for the show. I can't come to you and say, Mr. Boda, if you're saying this, and President Bouaga 1 year in office is twice as better as George. We are 6 years. I will ask you about what metrics. If we're doing, we try to balance the show here. So you, the other panelists, if someone says something that you feel is not true that you need to challenge, it's your responsibility to do that. It's not on me as a moderator to do that, because if I were to question everything, I would definitely be asking people to provide evidence on a statement, because the statement you made is metric based, and if I do that for Prince Sheriff, I have to do it for you or for the other panelists as well. With that being said, let's recognize Mr. Sandy, and then we'll take our final break after that.
Yeah, look, this is what I would like to say. As a journalist of many years, let me help my brother Sharif to understand that the purpose of having a platform like this or any medium of communication, first is to propagate messages. You educate, you inform. That's the purpose. A platform like this is not meant for tantrums. When you're raising your voice, you're becoming uncontrollable, and you're spewing gibberish. Things that just don't make sense, incomprehensible. You know, I mean, it just defeats the purpose of the platform. And someone like me, the integrity, the respect people have for me, if I find myself in an environment like this, it makes it real difficult, Derek, for me. You know, oh, that Moses over there. You know, I'm not trying to be condescending here. You know, I won't put nobody down. But I think first we have to understand the purpose of the media. We can agree and disagree. That's what educated people do. When you make an allegation, you must provide what? The facts. If I say Derek is not a good host, you should ask me what made me not a good host, and let me be able to substantiate what I said. But if you're just shouting, you're raising your voice, and people wondering whether this man is in a right state of mind or not, that's a problem. You know, what is happening tonight just defeats the whole purpose. Do you know the number of people watching this podcast? Exactly. And we're conducting ourselves here like kids. What makes us different from the people in the House of Representatives that we're just talking about every day? We have a lead panelist. We can't even give him any chance to moderate the show. We're raising our voice. Mr. Sherry is spewing falsehood. He said the organization that I built gave an award to Joseph Boakai. Mr. Sharif, I'm throwing an open challenge to you. If you have a video or if you have a news clipping where colleagues of AJA presented an award to Boakai or any member in his administration, applauding them for what they have done, I will write you a check of $2,000 tonight. I am throwing this open challenge to you right now. If you can show that video where we are making the presentation, as I said to you, as I speak to you, if you want Cash App, I will send you the $2,000 now. I will just leave it like that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. If you're watching us, this is episode 5 of season 7 of the Hard
Point of objection, please.
Mr. Sheriff, I have to take the last break, and whatever you have to say, can you include it in your closing remark? Guys,
just 5 seconds or so. I'm listening. I think you are listening, and the audience, you know, are also listening. You see the kind of derogatory comments that are coming out. We've discussed the issue, and there have not been a time that we have used any, you know, words that would be derogatory to anyone on this particular platform. But I think the audience are listening, and they are hearing words that are being used by operative of the Unity Party because they cannot discuss the issue adequately. So therefore, they have reduced themselves to using words, you know, that are not palatable for the platform. I think he speak BB English, he tells somebody. But anyway, we'll discuss the issue. We'll discuss the issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sheriff. And guys, let's take our final break. When we'll come back, I will give you guys the opportunity to give us your final, your closing remark on this episode.
Celebrating the lives of our dearly departed loved ones is no easy task. That's why you become family the minute you walk through the doors of the Exodus Funeral Chapel. Exodus Funeral Chapel is deeply committed to helping you navigate your way through this difficult time. Our services are reliable, affordable, and professional. Call us, visit our website, or feel free to stop by in person for your consultation. At the Exodus Funeral Chapel, we believe in the dignity of your loved ones. Empathy and respect is the goal of our staff. Exodus Funeral Chapel. Empathy, respect, and dignity.
My name is Theophilus Juliban Nelson I. I am the founder and CEO of Lift Africa LLC. Lift Africa started as an employment agency that sought the employment of immigrants coming to the U.S. and finding ways and means to be able to start life in this great your country. Now we have added airport pickups and drop, car rental, all rental. As you see, we have a new business location. Started with just a little office part, but today we have a whole complex that we can do a lot of stuff with.
Hello everyone, my name is Geneva Kreitz. I'm the Executive Administrator of Uplift Africa. We have an excellent employment rate at our company. We work with and for you regardless of your situation. If you've ever been in prison, maybe your background isn't great, do not worry. We have a place for you here. We believe in equal opportunity for everyone, especially you. So sign up today and begin earning.
My name is Emmanuel B. Horton, Operational Director for Live Africa. Live Africa is the place to be.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 5 of season 7 of The Hard Zone. If this is your first time being here again, I would say The Hard Zone is an opinion-based talk show where we feature a team of panelists from all walks of life in Liberia. We talk about issues in Liberia and the diaspora. And also, we're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm playing host tonight. My name is Derek Yale. I'm joined by my panelists, Mr. Mose D. Sandy, Mr. Prince Sharif, Bishop Sifa Reeves, Mr. Martin Border, and Bishop Amos Hager, who just disconnected shortly. We are at the very end of this episode again. Before I get into our founder segment, I would again like to reiterate our disclaimer here. All of the positions and opinions that are offered on this podcast and this network is not the official position of the network, but that of the individual panelists that will be offering them. With that being said, I would like to thank you guys so much for your contribution tonight. Those of you in the comment section, those of you that are watching us, but we are at the very end. Just one more segment that is taking the final remarks of our panelists, and then we will draw the curtain to this episode. I would like to start with you, Bishop Reeves. We've had a very enticing conversation here, very interesting, I think. So I'd like for you to just provide a summary for us. Give us your closing remark.
Well, I would just like to say this publicly. I've been on this show for a while, and I like the fact that we're able to discuss, and people can make statements that can be rebuttal and all of that. But I want all of you to understand Liberia has a unique problem. And the problem we have in Liberia is lack of education. Since the war in Liberia, we have not had any major drive towards educating our people in Liberia. Unfortunately, we have some of them who come on this platform and say all kinds of things. And for me personally, I feel that is a waste of energy because we don't understand what our problem is. Now, look at Liberia today. Most of the young people the generation that we have now, this young generation is a generation that has the power to vote people into office. And whoever is able to speak to the young generation and deceive them, they will get that vote. Now, I'm saying this to say something, to get to a particular place, which I want all of you to take me very serious. How many Liberians today, you look at our schools, how many young Liberians today are into engineering, geological engineering, mining engineering? How many Liberians, electrical engineering, how many Liberians are into engineering? They are not going into those fields. If you ask them where you want to go, oh, I want to do IT, or I want to do public administration, or I want to do this. And most of them who come out of college, they cannot even differentiate the letter I from ARE. I can prove that to you. All right.
So with this problem that we face in our country, we need to have a show that will be educative. We need to have a show that will help Liberia to come from where she is to move forward. We don't need to have a show that will continue to keep those in the dark by the negativity that we're bringing. Every government that comes into power, once that government wins the election, we're supposed to support that government, but we're supposed to keep that government feet to the fire. That means that if they go wrong, we should not be afraid to say that they went wrong. But to sit on the show and just be negative and talk degrading things about the government, the president, and that's our president. All right? The president is wicked. The president is this for the country. He's listen, by going to that extent, it put me in a place where I don't want to waste my energy. We can criticize the president, but let it be constructive. If we feel that the president is not doing what we need to do, let's go to the ballot box. But everything that we're spewing here, people are listening to us. And when people listen to us, those who don't have the ability to really comprehend what we're saying, of course, whoever is saying the negative, they will jump on their side and listen. And we have a lot of young people who will go into that direction of incompetence. All right? Now, I am saying to us, if some of us will continue this show, we want to have constructive criticism that will build Liberia. If it would tear Liberia down, I don't want to be a part of it. We want to build the country. Everybody can have their opinion. Everybody can say what they want to say. They can criticize, but let it be constructive. But if that criticism is strong and it's going to destroy the country, why do we do that? If you want example, look at CNN, look at MSNBC, look at the ratings now. Look at the just ended election in America. Whether people like Donald Trump or not, America voted for him. All right? And these news media that consistently said negative things about him, go and look at the ratings. The ratings will drop. And I'm saying that for our Liberia radio and television network. We need to, yes, let's have our rebuttals. Yes, let's have our arguments. Let's have all of that. But at the end of the day, is it going to build Liberia or is it going to keep Liberia divided? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bishop Reese. Thank you for your contribution on this network, as always, on every episode that you have appeared on. And most definitely, thank you for your contribution today. I'd like to take our next panelist, Mr. Sandy. You're up next, or give us your summary on the show today.
Yeah, I would just like to say that it was indeed a great show. It just was a little bit disappointing when things started to go off tangent. And like Bishop Reese said, look, if we are to be taken seriously, that one makes us educated people, that we have the ability to think and act rationally. If you make a point, it must be supported by facts. You don't just say it because you want to be a fanatic, a blind follower. You know, that what distinguish. I mean, we are in the world one. So when we speak, people listen. When we just talk like people in the market, it defeats the purpose of the show. And honestly speaking, you know, I would be hesitant to be a part of such gathering because it's just a waste of my time. You know, we need to work on that. We need to work on that. Other than that, I think it was indeed a great interaction. And when we come, let us come prepared to discuss, to educate, because our society is so gullible. The bishop said, once they hear something from you, the people take it and run with it. Oh, we hold it on the network. We hold it on the network. It is true that Obama administration is exterminating people. You can't do stuff like that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sandy, again, thank you as well for your contribution here on every episode. And we always do appreciate and hold your contribution in high value.
Thank you.
Mr. Sheriff, I'd like to hear from you next. Give us your closing remark on this episode.
Thank you. It is unfortunate that people who support this government cannot even convince our audience relative to policies that have been implemented by this government. But when they come, it is about President we are speaking, it is about his agenda, and etc., etc. Let me go right here to an article from the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas on June the 4th, 2024. Two of their officials, remember earlier I said that AJA is one of those organizations that has been heavily supported by this government in order for them to keep quiet. I stand by that particular statement. And like I said, we'll bring you recordings, we'll bring you records that there are people in AJA who are on government payroll. But I don't want you to believe this. I have an information here that I'm going to put out here. Two of their officials, President Piwi Besa and Vice President Kadiatu, they resigned. You know why they resigned? Because they were giving job to serve in the Bweka-led administration. I don't want you to believe what I'm saying. Before we leave this show, I will take this article, I will put it right here. You think we don't know what is happening? You think we don't know what is happening? Look, we understand that one of the reasons why there were so many inconsistencies and, there were challenges, so to speak, was because the opposition at the time, that is the Unity Party, and that of whatever collaboration they were in, they were heavily supported by people here in the United States, organizations, and etc. They used their proximity to the White House to make the CDC government look unpopular. When there was a sanction on government official of the CDC, I just celebrated. That article right here, the thing right here, when I come to talk, I have all of the evidence. They were celebrating and happy and clapping. But it is unfortunate that these people who were celebrating, clapping, and running around and doing all these things, today they cannot write an article condemning, Sylvester Grisby for taking 600,000 of poor people money. They not able to read out an article. They wrote an article celebrating that, they put the people on sanction. Government officials, they're on sanction. But today, with the death of Foto, these people are not able to read article on it. These people wrote an article celebrating, they put the people on sanction. But when our people died in Grand Cape County, when they were murdered, that up to today, nobody has said a word. Nobody has said a word in Grand Cape County. These people were murdered under the instruction of Joseph Numa Bweka. I mean it. He is the president of the Republic of Liberia, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia, one who commands the Liberian National Police. They issue an order that must go and kill our people. Where is the statement coming from, Adia? Where is the statement? Where is it? Right here on their page. I'm on their page, right here. Look, in order for us to make Liberia a better place for every one of us, we must be true to power. We should not bow our heads because I'm associated with this person, either maybe, on a tribal line or on a religion line or on whatever line. And we must say thanks to His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah. The environment that he created in that country for people to express themselves. Today, that environment is contaminated by the Unity Party-led government. Look at what happened of recent. People went to their own lawmakers to express their dissatisfaction. What did they do? They opened fire on these people. People are no longer given an opportunity to express themselves as enshrined in Article 17 of our Constitution. They are no longer given an opportunity to do that. These people will either be fired at or they will run behind them. Today, look at what is happening in our country. Mr. Bweka, who condemned President Weah because he was using plane to go out there to scout for money. They may not using plane to go to Ghana to go attend wedding. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine? There are mysterious deaths all around the place. Our president, who should be in the country, ensuring that the security doing that where he ain't wedding, he enjoying wedding food, he gonna eat wedding food. You say we should come here and sugarcoat things. The man who should be in the country ensuring that his agenda is fully implemented to better the people's life. He's flying and going to go have party in Ghana. Then you want us to be excited when my children in that particular country don't even have the opportunity. You understand? Don't have the opportunity to even go to a park. And you say we should be happy, we should be excited. Is this not the key issue that we should be discussing? What should we discuss? When you bring the policy issue, we discuss. As we have been saying on this platform, whenever there are policy issues that come to discuss, we discuss the policy issue. Look at the recent report, the report that I sent in our chat room about the United States, the United States government, how you call a statement about our own investment climate. I sent the 2024 investment climate report on Liberia. That was presented by the Bureau of Business and Economic Affairs. Look at how that report is damaging about Liberia. Go in the chat room. I send in the chat room. Look at how that report is damaging of Liberia. How they say government officials are now using their proximity to power, extorting money from investors. They are creating a toxic environment for people not to be able to invest. Look at what happened to Baba Too Sweet before I end on this. Baba, a young Liberian who wants to invest in his country, an infrastructure that was built by that brother, what did they do? Only because of political differences. Because Gregory Como, who is the police director, how he called business interest, he went there and broke that particular facility down. How can you treat your people like this? Then you want us to be happy? Is this not an intellectual discourse? Or what are we talking out of? What will better the lives of our people? Are we insulting? No, we are not insulting. We are discussing the issue. We have just been brutal with the truth. And that's why people see it uncomfortable. Somebody say, oh, you're yelling. People will think that what's happening. We have different ways of expressing ourselves. There are ways that we can express ourselves. We are not shouting. We are making our point, and we have been very forceful in making our point. There is no crime about it. If you come to discuss the issue, we discuss the issue. But if you come and you want to leave the issue and discuss President Weah, then we'll discuss President Weah. To tell you that these people have not succeeded in anything up to today, they're still talking about President Weah. But they bring an agenda, they say, to rescue our people. You cannot even articulate the agenda as it relates to rescuing Liberia. You are taking the people out of job, you are attacking them. On top of it again, you're killing the people. Then you say we shouldn't talk. This platform is one of the best platforms that we can express these issues and open our people eyes. And that's what we'll do. And we'll continue to do it.
Thank you.
If other people then they can leave the flow. If you know you can dance, go say that. Other people who can dance, they will join the flow. But we will continue to checkmate the Brecker-led administration, even though we know some people are receiving benefits. Like I said, the two other officials, you're saying that these people are also incorporating our people. They are giving our people small money. We know what's happening here. And at the appropriate time, we'll display the record.
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff. Thank you for your contribution here as always. And it is important to say that we value your contribution just like we do to every other panelist. So again, thank you so much. Mr. Boda, let's hear from you last, and then we'll draw the curtain to this episode.
Thank you, Derek. Thanks to my fellow panelists. I just want Liberian people to understand that the shared responsibility for some of our own issues is letting our mind on issues concerning our society. It's not about individual politics or person that are in particular. In our society need to be addressed, to be exposed. In exposing no ill in our society, let us make it factual. Let us be evidence-based facts that we are giving them, because we are here opportune to have sit on the platform and have the greater responsibility to share with our people facts. That is true to this network. Liberia is all of us country. We all love Liberia. And bulk of our people don't have the opportunity that we have to be sitting here today. Many of them are perishing because of the aid in our society. Corruption has driven our people to their need. In our government sector, in our own lives, Liberians are very dishonest people. comes to their personal interests that are hurt us so badly. And my appeal to all of us on the network is we want to make that change. The change should begin with us, facts, being honest about what we do and what we say about lives in the society. And I also wanted to leave the personal issue and let us discuss the issue of the show. You got to decide about to bring on the show, bring it on. We don't want to be personal about, taking personal individual things. I think that's gonna take a taste away, and the law of our people, many of our people understanding in terms about how they comprehend and digest issues concerning our society, because they are driven by personal, not by institutional means. So that personal law for somebody, some of our leaders, drive them. They don't see what that person, how it affects their life, but because our personal law for Mr. Boakai or Mr. Weah and so forth, I tend not to even see what he putting me into. Some of us here personally are not here for that. I'm here. If Mr. Boakai goes wrong today, I will be one person to raise my hand and say, President Boakai, you did wrong. I spoke against that. I think you can be in the business. I spoke against us. We are leadership in us. We are government. And we'll do so in this government. But let us be mindful as Liberians because what we disseminate here has a greater impact on our Liberian society. And it's very unfortunate that we have to be here. We don't want to be the every other show where people are just there arguing and talking across each other, and you don't understand what we're talking about. I mean, we all have our political difference, our political institution that we align with, and our own ideologies. But let us be mindful as member of this network that we come here. Let us be respectful to each other. Let us talk about issues concerning Liberia. Let's start going back. Let's move forward. I know there's a lot of hate in our society. We can't face all today. We can't face it now. And it's going to be there. But let us address the facts. Talk to them. Speak to our people. Directly to our audience. So that they understand the next time the election comes, they can vote in the right mind. Because if we mislead them, they're going to vote the same way they're voting. And we will change president. I think I said that before. We always want to change president. The issue of Liberia is not president. It's not the president that causing the problem. It's us, the individual Liberians, who are being entrusted into various positions and institutions. And because you don't have people who are loyal and civil servant to the country, so you don't have nobody to be responsible. That we discuss it all the time. A lot of things happen in our country. We don't have money to pay civil servant. But yet you got people in various positions, director of that, all these various sectors of government. And they just strangle government. They take the resources. We don't see that as being affecting the government or corruption. But so in a nutshell, let us be mindful, and Liberian people in general who are listening to us, you people have to be vigilant to your leaders. Hold them accountable. And make sure that you speak in facts. Don't just be led by rumors and sensations. I'm sorry, Please.
Right.
So, gentlemen, let us discuss the issue as we've been doing as always.
So, Derek?
Stop the personal attack.
Yes.
Let's talk about the issue.
Thank you, Mr. Boda.
Thank you.
Yeah, Derek, kindly, gentlemen, I just want 30 seconds of your time just to provide this information for Mr. Sharif.
Mr. Cindy,
I just want to read two headlines.
We usually don't do that during the segment.
Yeah, Chief, I beg you, please. If you're going to provide I want to pass. Okay, go ahead.
You're going to provide that information we need.
I didn't, he said something about it. I just wanted to provide the evidence. But go ahead.
I said we usually don't do that during this segment.
Okay.
If you're going to provide information to Mr. Sheriff, it will have to be upon his approval. So, Mr. Sheriff, are you okay with Mr. Cindy providing that information? Because we don't do that during the segment.
like you said, if it is, I don't just want him to provide them. So if it can be part of our discussion for next week's plan, we appreciate that. If we can do that, because I too will want to come with a rebuttal, so I don't think if we can make that a next week discussion. I read on Aja page. I'm reading too much about them. I get all of the information. There was 5 subject here for them. 5 subject.
Mr. Sheriff, Mr. Sandy, I will advise.
Yeah, no
send
problem.
that information in the group chat, or just keep it for next episode.
I'll post the information.
Thank you. Thank you again, Mr. Bodan, and all of you esteemed panelists for your contribution here tonight. And most importantly, I would like to say thank you to those of you that have been supporting us in the audience, or watching us, and or sharing the program and following the network. We wholeheartedly appreciate that. And also, I would like to say to the producer again, thank you so much for another awesome episode. And just by way of announcement, we will be back here, same network, next week, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. With that being said, I want to again let us say Happy New Year to all of you panelists and to all of you in the audience. And again, we hope you have a fantastic another 365 days. Until then, I'd like to say have a pleasant good evening.
And shall we just allow $2,000 to
I want picture of
I post for the photo, but I can see myself in the photo. Post. What happened to the photo? Now I can see myself in the photo. Post. The people that were laughing at the photo, now the people that I see shining in the photo. Post. I post for the photo, but I can see myself in the photo. What happened to the photo? Now I can see myself in the photo. People that were laughing at the photo, now the people that I see shining in the photo. Papi, what happened to the photo? What happened? How you really tell it all the photo? Now I can see myself in the photo. I was standing right down there in the photo, but now I can't even see my shadow in the photo. Where deep, blah in the photo. So shaka demon I see in the photo. They say your camera was dog. They say your picture was not clear. If your picture will be all clear. Now the reason why they went and took the picture didn't play. But now I see the person in the photo. Talking said I didn't want enjoy in the photo. Where were y'all when we were in the photo? Posing in the ring and the sun for the photo. Photo go did not follow in the photo. When I wear deep, blah, shining in the photo. Shaka Dimo did not visit all the camera in a no more.